What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pulse Metrics channel. Today we have another rankings video. Today we are going to be every team's starting coach ranked from worst to first. Quick disclaimer, as usual, this list will not be including unemployed coaches. It will not be including offensive coordinators like damn Arthur Smith or anyone. It will also not be including, as I said, employed coaches like Bill Belichick. But that's all I got for you guys, so let's get it going. Alright, kicking it off at number 32, we have, where is he? We have Dennis Allen from the New Orleans Saints. This guy is like one of the single worst coaches I have ever seen, man. Like, he does not do a good job. He has a talented offense. Like, Derek Carr has some talent to him. Chris Olave, he's got a lot of potential on that team. But, you know, it all goes to waste if you have a bad coach. Like, this guy is terrible. Alright, next up we have Matt Eberflus from the Chicago Bears. Another guy, like, this guy is absolutely terrible, man. Like, he has a lot of good talent on that defense and offense. But, you know, like, it all goes to waste. Just like Dennis Allen, it goes all to waste once you have a terrible coach. Like, these two right here, I wouldn't be surprised if this season was their last season. Alright, next up we have Brian Callahan from the Tennessee Titans. Look, I am not sold on this guy at all. Like, he hasn't really proved anything to me why he should be a good coach. I mean, like, Mike Vrabel, like, he was doing a great job in Tennessee. But, you know, he didn't really see eye to eye with the organization, so they hired Brian frickin' Callahan to do the job. Like, what a stupid fucking idea. Alright, next up, we have Robert Saleh, or whatever, however you pronounce his last name, from the New York Jets. Look, now, I understand that Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Like, yeah, that's definitely an excuse, but Robert here did not help their case at all. Again, like, there are some talented players on his roster, like Hassan Reddick, Garrett Wilson, but as always, it always goes to waste when you have bad coaching staffs. Like, this guy was not really that pleasant last year, and he had a good reason. Like, you can't really blame him because, like, Aaron Rodgers, but honestly, when he got hurt, the quarterback situation was terrible last year, but overall that's not really much of an excuse because this guy was absolutely awful last year. Again, like, there are some talented players on his roster, like Hassan Reddick, Garrett Wilson, but as always, it always goes to waste when you have bad coaching staffs. Like, this guy was not really that pleasant last year, and he had a good reason. Like, you can't really blame him because, like, Aaron Rodgers, but honestly, when he got hurt, the quarterback situation was terrible last year, but overall that's not really much of an excuse because this guy was absolutely awful last year. Alright, next up we have Raheem Morris from the Atlanta Falcons. Alright, now, like, they had a absolutely terrible, awful coach last year with Arthur Smith. I get that. And, yeah, they have a lot of great talented players on that team, like Bijan Robinson, Jesse Bates. So, like, it's going to take me a while to get convinced that this guy, like, he's going to do a good job because, like, he doesn't have the best track record in the world. However, with the talented players on his team, then I really feel like that this guy could be good. I'm just not quite sold on him just yet to put him higher than 28. Alright, this one was a little tougher, but at number 27, we have Kevin O'Connell from the Minnesota Vikings. Look, he had most of his guys hurt last year. I get that. But, like, you know, you could at least make the most of it, you know? I mean, Josh Dobbs was doing a fine job. But, you know, Kevin O'Connell, he's just, like, not the best at running offenses. His defense was fine. But his offense, you know, playmaking, his decision making is absolutely terrible, and I'm not sold on him one single bit. All right, up next we have Brian Daboll from the New York Giants. This guy was awful last year. It was a shit show in New York last year. Like he went from winning the Coach of the Year to absolutely running one of the single worst offenses in the entire league. Daniel Jones, he was playing terrible before he got hurt, so they had to bring in Tommy DeVito. He played terrible. Then we had to bring in Tyrod Taylor. He played okay, but now Tyrod Taylor's going to the Jets, and he's basically cooking any hopes of even making it to the playoffs for this team. And Brian Daboll really does not help. It looks like he draws up plays on the bottom of his ass, man. All right, up next, we have Dave Canales from the Carolina Panthers. I'm not, this guy could be good, but he also couldn't be. He's at 25, he's, 50-50 for me. After last year, the Carolina Panthers are like, what is a head coach? Yep, that's basically it. The Panthers have no talent on their roster whatsoever. As a matter of fact, now they don't even have a first round pick. They had the number 1 pick, but they're going to have it in the second round. They're not even going to get to have a pick in the first round. So for those reasons, I don't think Dave Canales is going to be too good. I mean, Frank Wright, he was a great coach, but he had nothing, and I mean nothing to work with. And for those reasons, I don't think the Panthers or Dave Canales are going to be very good this year. All right, up next, we have Todd Bowles from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Honestly, this guy was just okay last year. I mean, he took the Buccaneers to the playoffs, and they absolutely beat our ass in the playoffs. But, hey, he has a talented roster. I mean, I get that. He has honestly, more than a talented roster, But, he's at 24 for a reason. This guy is just okay, and for that reason, he's 9-8. He's not the best coach in the world. I mean, he's definitely made some progress from last year, but, this team is nothing without Tom Brady, if I'm being honest. And I mean nothing without Tom Brady. Baker Mayfield, he's starting to get back into his groove like he did in his rookie year. But overall, I mean, you got to have a better coach. I mean, that's just it. You have to have a better coach. Alrighty, up next we have Mike McCarthy from the Dallas frickin' Cowboys. Yeah, don't really know how much longer this guy's going to be coach for. I mean, let's be real. This guy is, good in the regular season. Honestly, seeing the Cowboys get eliminated in the playoffs makes me smile. I mean, when they faced the Packers, that was the best Eagles game of the year. We didn't even play in it. So, thanks, Mike McCarthy, for being such a trash-ass coach, as I know you are. But, hey, in the regular season, he's not bad. It's just he's not good. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is last year. Ooh, it's the moment. Yeah, this is the last year for him, I would expect, before he gets fired. All right, up next, we have Dan Quinn from the Washington Commanders. Yeah, I mean, this guy is just okay. I mean, he did a great job in Atlanta, taking them to the Super Bowl and everything, I know. But, besides that, he's just an iffy coach. He doesn't really do too much. It's just, he's just a meh for me. The Cowboys, he did an okay job as offensive coordinator, but he's a way better head coach than offensive coordinator. He deserves to be running the whole thing. However, he's going to a bad team, so that's, I don't know what they're going to do this year. Bad coach, bad team. Although he's not a bad coach, so I'm assuming that the Commanders are going to be a little bit better this year. However, I really don't see that happening. I think the Commanders are going to be ass this year, and Dan Quinn's going to get dragged down with it. Alrighty, up next we have Antonio Gates from the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, I mean, last year they had whoever the fuck their starting head coach was. But all I know is that he was terrible, and he drew up plays at the side of an empty Bud Light can. This guy, however, this guy is really going to improve that very weak Las Vegas Raiders team. I mean, they have some talented players, but the reason he's at 21 is because I'm not quite sold on this guy yet. I mean, he hasn't given me any sign to have faith in him for the Raiders yet. Alright, up next we have this guy right here, Jerod Mayo from the New England Patriots. This guy's, like middle of the pack. He's just okay. I mean, he had some experience with offensive coordinating and coaching. Yeah, but Bill Belichick, you're not gonna find a better head coach than Bill Belichick. I mean, all those Super Bowls he won. I mean, you're just not gonna find anyone who's gonna replace him. Jerod Mayo can try, but he's just not. However, he made a right decision by trading Mac Jones for a 6th round pick because Mac Jones is ass. But so far he's made some pretty good adjustments to this team, and I feel like that could really help the Patriots. All right, up next we have Mike Macdonald from the Seattle Seahawks. And a lot of people are going to be very surprised putting this guy this high, but hey, I mean, I got some faith in this guy. The Seahawks have a very, very talented offense. I mean, you got Geno Smith, you have a good wide receiver duo, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. You have an ace running back, Kenneth Walker. And then you have a pretty, very decent defense. You have one of the, in my eyes, one of the best secondaries I've ever seen. And, hey, I mean, this guy has some things to work with. I know you're not going to have Pete Carroll anymore, but with Pete Carroll, executive associate advisor for the Seattle Seahawks, I mean, he could be helping out there. But, hey, Mike McDonald, he's got some experience. I think he can really turn the Seattle Seahawks team around. Alrighty, up next we have the Eagles' old defensive coordinator. We have Jonathan Gannon from the Arizona Cardinals. Yep, I mean, looking back at it, this guy has, he's like Dave Canales. He has nothing to work with. He's a good coach, but he has absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing to work with. Besides Kyler Murray, I mean, James Conner, they're good, but besides that, they're terrible. They have no wide receivers, no defense at all. The worst secondary in the entire league. However, Jonathan Gannon, he ran our defense really, really well. Obviously having that, he was part of that 70 sack season. He whooped our ass. The Cardinals did when they came to Philly. So, yeah, I feel like this guy could be, with Kyler Murray having a fully healthy season and based on what they do in the draft, I feel like this guy can really turn the Cardinals season around and potentially win Coach of the Year. Alrighty, up next, we have Sean Payton from the Denver Broncos. This guy has just been okay in recent years, obviously, again, having nothing to work with, but this guy could go down as one of the greatest head coaches of all time. Obviously, back when Drew Brees was the quarterback, you guys won the Super Bowl, but this isn't that time anymore. You guys don't have Drew Brees. You have whoever the frick the Denver Broncos quarterback is. My guess is that they're going to get one in the draft. If they get a good young quarterback, I think that this Denver Broncos team could be really good under the ruling of Sean Payton. Alrighty, up next we have Matt LaFleur. I think it's LaFleur or LaFleur. I mean, it's a tongue twister. Anyway, he's from the Green Bay Packers. Hey, this guy had a really, really, really decent season last year. Obviously, getting the Green Bay Packers, who just lost Aaron Rodgers, to the playoffs with a winning record, and they won one of their playoff games. They beat Dallas, and they made it that far. No one really expected them to make it this far. However, Matt LaFleur, or whatever his last name is, he really, really helped out that team because he's a good coach. I know a good coach when I see one. Jordan Love, Obviously, his play calling was fantastic. Jordan Love had a great year. But, we'll have to see what the Packers do this year. Hopefully, they can go all the way. Well, not hopefully, because I'm an Eagles fan, but my cousin is. All right, up next, we have our guy, Nick Sirianni. Yeah, the leader of the NFL's biggest collapse in the world. However, the reason he's not 32, I get it. I get it. It was a big collapse. The reason, however, he's not 32 is because, when we hired him, he was walking into an absolute shit show. Wentz obviously messing up the team big time. It was just ridiculous. But he got us to the playoffs 3 years in a row. One of them was a Super Bowl run, only to lose to you-know-who. Thou we shall not speak his name. However, Nick Sirianni's still a good coach. I'm surprised that we didn't fire him, however. As big of a collapse as we had this year, it's hard for me to put him inside the top 10. All right, up next, we have the Eagles' old offensive coordinator. We have Shane Steichen from the Indianapolis Colts. This guy, as offensive coordinator, was obviously one of the best offensive coordinators I've ever seen. He was so amazing. I don't understand why we got rid of him. But, the Colts had it good with him. Obviously, getting to a winning record, just missing out of the playoffs. I think they had a winning record. Let's go see. Yeah, they had a winning record. Obviously no one expected him to be that good. Gardner Minshew obviously had a great season. So we'll have to see what he does going into this next season. Hopefully it's going to be good. All right, up next we have the brother of John Harbaugh. We have Jim Harbaugh, the new head coach for the Los Angeles Chargers. This guy is going to be really, really, really good. I can already tell, Obviously, he's got some things to work with. They're going to have to get a good receiver. But, their defense isn't half bad. Obviously, they have an elite quarterback. Their running game, is existing. The Chargers overall, actually, now that you think about it, the Chargers have a absolutely awful team. But, obviously a great college coach, Jim Harbaugh, the brother of a all-time great coach, John Harbaugh. Obviously, hopefully he can get some of that magic passed down to him, and he'll have a good season with the Los Angeles Chargers. At least that's what I'm predicting. All right, up next we have Mike McDaniel from the Miami Dolphins. I know I'm already going to get a lot of heat for this. This guy sucked in the second half of the season. However, at the first half of the season, they dropped 70 points off of the Denver Broncos. This guy made the Dolphins into one of the most powerful offenses you will ever see. Dropping 70 points on the poor Denver Broncos. It was just ridiculous. Mike McDaniel is a great coach, but honestly, I'm not convinced. I don't know. Based on how the season ended, I'm not really convinced enough to put him higher than number 12. All right, up next, we have Kyle Shanahan. We have Kyle Shanahan from the San Francisco 49ers. Look, this guy is a great coach. He makes good decisions in the offseason. It's just that, there are questions surrounding him if he can ever really get the job done. Because in my eyes, he really can't. If it hasn't happened this year, I don't think it's ever going to happen, Obviously, having one of the most powerful offenses in the entire league, talented-wise, but, it just can never seem to win a Super Bowl. As long as the Eagles, Chiefs, and other teams are around, he will never win a Super Bowl. No shot in hell. Alrighty, up next, we have Sean McVay. Yeah, the youngest coach ever to win a Super Bowl. We have Sean McVay from the Los Angeles Rams. Look, this guy's still good. It's just that, that one bad season that he had in 2022 really made him drop down. He's a great coach. Don't get me wrong. He won the Super Bowl for a reason. However, it's just that, can they ever get back to that powerful offense that they once had in 2021? There are questions can they ever get back to that once powerful offense. In my eyes, they can, and that's why this guy is at number 10, inside the top 10 for sure. All right, up next we have Doug Peterson from none other than the Jacksonville Jaguars, our Super Bowl head coach. This guy is amazing. They had a down year, but remember in 2022 when they were down like above 30 points to the Los Angeles Chargers? This motherfucker came all the way back to win, only to just slightly lose to the Chiefs in 2022. That's how good of a coach Doug Peterson is. 2 years of him being the starting head coach, 2 years of them having a winning record. I mean, this guy is an amazing coach, and he will continue to be amazing coach as long as he's alive. All right, up next we have Zac Taylor from none other than the Cincinnati Bengals, having one of the most powerful offenses in the entire league. Hey, even without Joe Burrow, they still brought the Cincinnati Bengals to a winning record. That's how good of a coach that Zac Taylor is. Even when he has nothing to work with, he'll make it happen. Zac Taylor, he's going to be a star head coach for a super long time. I guarantee you. Alright, up next, we have Sean McDermott from the winning Buffalo Bills team. This guy is amazing. Every single year he gets them to win the division. Obviously a powerful offense led by a king, Josh Allen. He gets like at least over 40, 50 touchdowns a year because the play calling from this man right here, Sean McDermott, is amazing, man. You will not find a better coach. Well, besides on this list, you'll not find a better fit for the Buffalo Bills than Sean McDermott. I guarantee you. All right, up next, we have Mike Tomlin from the Pittsburgh Steelers. You guys already know what I am talking about. Somehow, some way, every single year, this guy gets them to the playoffs. Or at the very least, gets them to a winning record. Why? Because he's got a powerful defense, a somewhat powerful offense. I mean, the offense is not really that good. And the fact that he can just get him to the playoffs every single year is just mind-blowing to me. Like, I don't know how he does it every single year, but he does do it, and it's amazing. All right, up next, we have Kevin Stefanski, the coach of the year for the Cleveland Browns. Took one of the most trash organizations in the world and got him to the playoffs. Look, with the sad-ass team that they have, led by King Myles Garrett, like Joe Flacco, where the fuck did he come from, man? Joe Flacco, like, he's playing better than he has in a decade. All thanks to the amazing coaching by Kevin Stefanski, man. He is a great head coach. All right, up next, we have DeMeco Ryans from the Houston Texans, a team that nobody expected to be this good this quickly. Obviously, letting them to win the division with a powerful rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud. And now they have a triple wide receiver duo, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. And on top of it all, they got Danielle Hunter along with the powerful defensive rookie of the year that they have in Will Anderson, man. This team is going to be insane. DeMeco Ryans is a great coach. And he will be for a super long time. All right, getting to the top three. At number 3, we have Dan Campbell from the Detroit Lions. Took one of the most trash teams in the world, drafted great, and made him NFC Championship material, a material team for the NFC Championship. Sorry, children. But, Dan Campbell, he's just that guy, he's a ballsy coach, He was like, I could ask him, hey, Dan, we're 4th and 3 at the 30-yard line. Would you kick the field goal and, take the points? And this is Dan Campbell. Nope, we're going for it. Screw it. we're going for it. Like, and most of the time as it works, most of the time it doesn't. But Dan Campbell took him all the way to the NFC Championship. So you have to trust he knows what he's doing. All right, up next, these two are absolute alphas. But at number 2 we have John Harbaugh from the Baltimore Ravens. This guy, just continues to be a great head coach. He's a absolute legend, top 10 coach. Definitely led the Ravens to win the division, get the number 1 seed. The number 1 seed in the NFL, the Ravens were the best coach. Best team. Their defense is great. Offense is great, but not as good as the defense. It's really a two-man show on offense with Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson. But just a great coach that this guy. Baltimore has this guy to thank for it. And no shocker, at number 1, you already know, it is Andy frickin' Reid from the Kansas fucking City Chiefs. This guy could go down as the greatest head coach of all time, Obviously, Andy Reid getting them to back-to-back Super Bowls, with the powerful offense that he has. There's just no holes in this guy's game, He makes, if he's ever down by 30, 40, 50 points, he'll make adjustments and he will find a way to win. I guarantee it. And if you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs and you feel threatened by Andy Reid, well, I suggest you don't watch, because that's how good this motherfucker is. Alright guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and tell me down in the comments where you would agree, where you would disagree, anything like that. Obviously this video took a long time to film and edit, but hopefully you guys have a great day, and go Birds for those of you who are Eagles fans. Go Phillies for the Phillies fans, go 76ers, so on and so forth. But please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are trying to overcome the next obstacle of 50 subs before our road to 100. So, yep, that's going to do it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.